Cristiano!
Encara Messi, gol, 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 gol!
It's Pelé! Pelé now! Yes, there it is!
Every goal has its own story. Every era had its own king of goal scorers. But who was really the best? The elegant Messi, the confident Ronaldo, the magical Pelé, or perhaps someone the world has somewhat forgotten? Listen to Footy Past Stories, a podcast that brings football history to life. Thanks to AI, you can listen to it in several languages, connecting football fans around the world.
Get it back up! Get it back up!
It's a goal!
When the net ripples and a goal is scored, the stadium erupts. Thousands of fans in the stands watching on TV or listening on the radio rejoice, hug each other, and celebrate.
Oh my God, an insane goal! I've just seen the most insane goal I have ever seen!
Goals are the most beautiful part of football, and players who score a lot of them become unforgettable legends. But compiling a ranking of the very best is complicated. Which matches and competitions should be counted, and which should not? And are all statistics, some of which are 100 years old, reliable? We have nevertheless compiled a list of the best football scorers of all time, based on various statistics and historical sources. This is not a ranking, but a list of 7 legends who each wrote their own chapter in the history of football goals. Who do you think is the best in history? For a long time, Pelé was the top scorer in the highest league competitions, club cups and national team matches, scoring 770 goals. And if we count the goals in friendly and other unofficial matches, we get to the impressive number of 1,300. One of the most famous moments of Pelé's career was his 1,000th goal, which he scored for Santos against Vasco da Gama. The Maracanã Stadium was packed to capacity that evening. 80,000 fans, most of whom were cheering for the opponents. When Pelé converted the penalty that marked his legendary 1,000th goal, crowds of fans poured onto the pitch. The atmosphere was electric. Players from both teams hugged each other, and the goalkeeper who conceded the goal took off his shirt to reveal an undershirt with the words, "Congratulations, Pelé." It was a moment when football changed from rivalry to a universal language of respect. Pelé's goal became a symbol of the joy of the game and admiration that transcended club and national boundaries. His 1,000th goal turned Pelé into a living legend, a man who not only scored goals, but also wrote football history. Another Brazilian legend also scored over 1,000 goals in all competitions. Romário dedicated the end of his career to surpassing this impressive milestone. His career was full of emotion, goals, and moments that will forever be etched in history. The most famous came in 2007, when he converted a penalty for his beloved club Vasco da Gama against Sport Recife. It was his 1,000th goal. Romário coolly sent the goalkeeper the wrong way, and the stadium exploded. The match had to be interrupted for a long 16 minutes. Fans flooded the pitch. Photographers, teammates, and opponents joined in the celebrations. It was a moment that confirmed his place among the legends. Romário himself later admitted that he had included goals from youth and exhibition matches in his tally, which sparked debate. Even so, FIFA officially congratulated him. His 1,000th goal was not just a number, it was an expression of pure joy in football. Romário showed that passion for goals never grows old. According to some sources, Josef Bican was the best striker in history, scoring more than 1,800 goals. Football historians in Czechia, where he played for Slavia less than 90 years ago, recently counted his goals in official matches. They came up with a total of 805. Bican played most of his matches for Slavia Prague, where he had an impressive record, averaging almost 2 goals per game. He was elusive on the pitch, so fast that, according to eyewitnesses, he could run 100 meters in 10.8 seconds while still finishing accurately with both feet. However, his career was not only shaped by goals. It was also influenced by the war and later by the rise of the communist regime, which deprived him of the opportunity to work in football after the end of his peak career. Bican had to earn a living as a labourer, even though he was one of the best strikers in the world. Contemporary witnesses say that he trained his accuracy by aiming the ball from a distance at empty bottles placed on the crossbar of the goal, and he hit them with incredible ease. To this day, his name remains a symbol of genius and humility. Bican is and will forever be a legend of Slavia and Czech football as a whole.
But Bican's story doesn't end with statistics. On the contrary, it's only just beginning. You are listening to Footy Past Stories, a podcast that brings football history to life. In the premium episode of Footy Past Stories on Patreon, we follow in the footsteps of Josef Bican, a man who ran 100 meters in 10.8 seconds and, despite being one of the best strikers in football history, had to work as a laborer after his career ended. You can find the whole story now on Patreon, along with unique illustrations and other legendary stories you won't hear anywhere else. Our subscribers also have access to an exclusive newsletter. Unlock the whole story and support the creation of more episodes on Patreon. That's where football history comes to life.
Erwin Helmchen. Does this name ring a bell? According to some sources, he is the best striker regardless of the level of competition. He scored at least 989 goals in official matches. Helmchen, who played before World War II, is one of the most mysterious figures in football history. His uniqueness lay not only in the number of goals he scored, but also in his incredible record. He reportedly scored 141 hat-tricks during his career. Helmchen never played for the national team and remained loyal to regional football, which did not have the professional conditions or fame of today's leagues. Nevertheless, he achieved what others could not. He scored so many goals that he is still talked about today as a man with records that are difficult to beat. Ferenc Puskás represents another interesting story. With 760 goals in elite competitions, he is clearly one of the best scorers in history. He is a national hero in Hungary and a legend in world football. He became famous not only for his infallible left foot, but also for records that rewrote history.
Just watch the smart footwork by Puskás.
His most famous moment came in the 1960 European Cup final, when Real Madrid faced Eintracht Frankfurt. Puskás shone with 4 goals, a performance that no one has surpassed in a Champions League final to this day. After the Hungarian uprising, he was forced to leave his homeland and spent 2 years away from football. He became a symbol of courage and new beginnings. When Real Madrid signed him after a 2-year hiatus, he achieved what seemed impossible, returning to the very top, this time on foreign soil. Ferenc Puskás remains an icon who reminds us that talent and determination can rewrite history. Today, the award for the most beautiful goal of the year is named after him. Not only is he considered by many fans to be the best player of all time, but Lionel Messi is also clearly one of the greatest scorers. At the highest level, he is approaching 900 goals. One of the iconic moments of Messi's career came in the Champions League semi-finals in April 2011. Barcelona was playing at the home ground of its biggest rival, Real Madrid. The atmosphere in the stadium was tense, every touch of the ball accompanied by whistles and enormous pressure. And that's when Messi scored one of the most beautiful goals of his career. He took the ball in the middle of the field, dribbled past 4 defenders, and finished coolly. It was a goal that silenced the stadium and sealed Barcelona's 2-0 victory. This moment became symbolic of his game: calm, elegance, incredible control, and courage. Messi proved that you don't need strength or height to be the best. All you need is talent, intuition, and a love of football. While statistics from ancient times may be inaccurate, modern times leave no room for ambiguity. And most football historians agree on one thing: Cristiano Ronaldo is the only footballer to have scored more than 900 goals in official elite-level matches. What's more, he is still playing, so this record continues to grow. Cristiano Ronaldo has become a symbol of incredible willpower, discipline, and the ability to decide the biggest matches. One of the moments that defined his career was his hat-trick against Atletico Madrid in the 2017 Champions League semi-final. Real Madrid needed a miracle. After losing 2-0 in the first leg, Real had to win the return leg at home. And Ronaldo made that miracle happen. He scored all 3 goals, each finished with relentless precision: one with his right foot, one with his head, and one with a volley. His performance decimated the opponent's defense and sent Real to the final, which they later won. Ronaldo once again confirmed that he can shine when it matters most. His height, strength, and precise finishing made him a goal-scoring machine. But above all, a man for the big moments. And that is why Cristiano Ronaldo remains a symbol of absolute professionalism and a legend who will probably be remembered forever in the history of football. Just like all the other names in our overview of the greatest scorers in football history. 7 names, 7 stories, different eras, different conditions, but the same passion for goals. Each of these players wrote history in their own way, and each reminds us that football is more than just numbers in the statistics. You listen to Footy Past Stories, a podcast that brings football history to life. On our Patreon, you'll find not only a premium episode, but also special illustrations, exclusive newsletters, and, most importantly, more stories. Support the growth of this unique football community and be there when football history comes alive.
Want more? On Patreon, you'll find premium episodes, an exclusive newsletter, and the opportunity to support a podcast that uses AI to connect football fans around the world.